This is just a human biological protective mechanism that we all have. When we have 2 seconds to scan between 2 different people, sometimes we have to make a judgment on someone. Hello everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz and I help women step into their power, embrace their womanhood, and become their best selves. So if that's something you want to do, you should probably subscribe and stick around. So in today's video, I want to talk about why looks matter. And of course, they are not the only thing that matters, but the reality is that they do matter. And I want to talk about this from the perspective of one, more of like an internal perspective, why this shifts our internal world and how we show up differently, etc. And 2, more of an external perspective, how when we look good and when we put ourselves together, how the external world interacts with us. But before we dive into this though, I want to give a special thank you to Pique for sponsoring this video and supporting this amazing community. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Pique. They make an amazing variety of teas and elixirs and supplements for vibrance, health, and authentic beauty. One of the reasons why I love them so much is that they are high quality. They really focus on purity. They triple toxin screen all of their products for heavy metals, pesticides, and toxic mold, so you know what you're getting is the good stuff. They take that really seriously. Okay, but right now I'm really loving their BT fountain. It's basically a pretty pink electrolyte drink, but with skincare benefits. So the electrolytes and minerals are meant to deeply hydrate and repair the skin, you know, make it feel a little bit more plump and radiant. And the clinically proven ceramides work to reduce fine lines, increase skin elasticity, and protect the skin barrier. It tastes so good too. It's like a light berry flavor, but it's just very convenient because all you have to do is just open it up, pour it into the water, mix it up, and you're good to go. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and it's just really easy to stay consistent with it. And it is summer now, and summer is travel season, and whenever I travel, my skin tends to take a little bit of a hit, especially if I'm traveling by plane. I don't know what it is about planes, but whenever I get on a plane, let's just say it does not do my skin any favors. So I love BT Fountain, especially in the summer, just because of all of the heat and sun and travel. And actually, as of recording this, in a few days I'm going on an international trip and I am so excited. So I'm going to bring a bunch of them with me just for all the travel and for the plane and all of that, just to keep my skin hydrated and myself hydrated and feeling good. For a limited time, Pique's offering 15% off plus free shipping on the BT Fountain when you shop my link, piquelife.com/Jillz. So thank you, Pique, and let's get into the video. Okay, so let's talk about looking good and why this matters. And we're going to start with the internal side of this first, because I think that is the most important part. Okay, so I have a little bit of a story. So recently I got a new handbag that I love and also a new pair of shoes that I love. And I was so excited about them. I'd been thinking about them for a while. And I put them on like 2 weeks ago after I got them to go out for the day, and I was just so excited. I felt like I looked so cute and so put together. I feel like it just elevated my outfit like times 100. And I just felt very confident in how I looked. And I just went out to go run the errands that I needed to run. And I noticed that whenever anyone had even glanced at me or I noticed them looking at me, my first initial response was, oh, they must think I look cute today. They must think that I'm pretty. And then I realized in that exact moment that this was probably all my perception. And because I felt like I looked really cute and put together, my first initial response or instinct when I saw someone look at me was that they thought that I looked good, that they liked my purse or my outfit or whatever. And that's because I felt that. Because I felt that inside, I perceived that from the other people around me. And the truth is that when you feel like you look good and you look put together, when you feel like your skin is glowing and you have on an amazing outfit that you love and looks good on you, you are way more inclined to think that other people think that same way about you, that you think that they think you look good. Whereas if you just woke up, kind of threw your hair into a dirty bun, it kind of looks like a rat's nest, maybe you have a big zit on your forehead, or you're wearing like sweats that you just like that just don't look good on you, they're old and raggedy. When you go out, if you feel like you don't look good, if you don't look put together, if someone glances in your direction or looks at you, your first initial response is to think, oh, they're looking at my zit, or they're looking at my dirty hair, or they're looking at my raggedy outfit, or they're acknowledging the fact that I don't look good. And this is all our perception, because when we feel like we look good, we perceive the world around us to treat us in that way and to acknowledge that as well. When we feel like we look ugly, ugly, whatever that means to you, we think that everyone else is treating us like we're ugly. Let me tell you about something called the scar experiment. So in this experiment, the researchers told the people who agreed to do the experiment that they were testing and studying to see if people who had like facial deformities or looked a little abnormal in a way or had scars on their face were treated differently in the world. And they got these professional makeup artists to draw these fake scars on their face. And they were going to go into a job interview with these really big scars on their face. So these makeup artists put a very lifelike scar on their face, and then they showed them in the mirror what they looked like. And then right before they headed into the job interview, they said, oh, we just need to do a little bit of a touch up. And they actually got rid of the scar. But they didn't know this though. They thought they still had a scar on their face. And so they went into the job interview thinking there was a big scar on their face. And almost all of the people that were in the study and did these fake job interviews said that they were treated poorly because of the scar on their face, that they were looking at their scar the whole time, that they just weren't treated the same, and that they were just like more mean and rude to them. And this was like the overwhelming response. But they didn't have these scars on their face. They just thought they did. They perceived this treatment from other people even when that thing didn't even exist. And I think that you can look at this experiment in a few ways. I know some people have looked at it as like, oh, if you think you are a victim, then you will create that reality for you. But I also looked at it like, if you think that you don't look very good, if you think that something is abnormal about you, if there's something that you don't like about yourself physically, then you will perceive that reaction from other people, because our perception is everything, because our reality doesn't really exist, because our perception is the only reality that we know. So the point of all this, the point about my new handbag and shoes and how I felt I looked good that day, the point of this whole scar experiment is that how you feel like you look and how you feel about yourself affects how you perceive the world and how you perceive the world to interact with you. And this all kind of goes back to the reticular activating system, which I talked about in, I believe, my Lucky Girl Syndrome video. I'll put it up here and also down below. But this is very important when it comes to, law of attraction and manifestation and all of that. Our reticular activating system acts as a filter to the way that we see the world. So people who are normally more positive and have happier emotions and feel like good things are going to happen to them, they're going to see that and notice that in the world. Whereas the opposite, if there's someone who's just more pessimistic and negative and just thinks that all of these bad things are going to happen to them, then they are going to notice those things in their life. The first group will notice the opportunities and the good things. The second group will notice all the things that suck. How we feel internally affects how we see the world. And there's no denying that when we feel like we look good, we feel like we look pretty, we have on a cute outfit and all that, we tend to see the world differently. This is just the reality. It sends the perception to yourself and to others that you are good, that you are put together. And when you do put yourself together and feel good about the way that you look, it's this weird thing. We all of a sudden feel more capable. We feel more confident. We feel more secure. We feel more energized. We feel happier. Even if we're just having like a work from home day, if you get ready in the morning and take care of yourself, take a good shower, make yourself feel good, put on a cute outfit. Even if you're just at home all day, you're not seeing anyone else, you're gonna feel so much better about yourself. You're gonna feel so much more positive about your day. You're probably gonna get more done. You're probably gonna be more productive. You're much more likely to have a good day. Like if you just roll out of bed and start working on your computer in your PJs and stay like that all day, you're just not gonna have as good of a day. It's not just about looking good for other people. It's about showing up for ourselves. And when we feel like we look good, we can experience all of these massive benefits even without the presence of other people. Again, our perception of ourselves and how we view the world is everything. And so you might think about this and think, well, wait, that doesn't really mean that we have to look good. That just means that we have to be confident in ourselves and feel good about ourselves, right? Because it's all about how we perceive the world and how we perceive ourselves. And yes, that is true, but there is no denying that when you put yourself together, you are always more confident and more secure in yourself, and you are usually in a better mood. That is just the way that it goes. It just feels good to take care of ourselves and to show up as our best self. Now, let's talk about the external though. How about the way that people actually do do perceive us, because I do think that there is a massive difference in how people do perceive you if you look good and put together versus if you do not. Okay, so let me start with an example. Let's say that there are two guys. There's guy A and there's guy B. Guy A is just not really put together. His hair is a mess. Maybe he smells a little bit. Maybe he's wearing like really baggy clothes or just old clothes that don't fit him well. Or maybe his teeth are slimy, or maybe he just has really weird body language, like he's hunching a little bit or something. Whereas guy B, he's wearing a nice tailored suit. It fits him well. He is nicely trimmed, a nice haircut. His beard is nicely trimmed. His skin is clean. His body language is open and strong. If you had 2 seconds to decide between guy A and guy B, which one you feel safer with, which one you would rather work with, which one you would rather hang out with, which one you would rather date, which one you would rather literally do anything with, our first instinct is to pick guy B because he looks put together. And this is because looks are the first thing that we see. And as human beings, we make judgments off of people's looks in that first split second that we meet them. This is just a human biological protective mechanism that we all have. When we have 2 seconds to scan between two different people, sometimes we have to make a judgment on someone. But there's something called the halo effect, and it's basically a cognitive bias where if we feel like one person has something positive about them, for example, their looks, we make the assumption that other characteristics about them are positive, like maybe they're smarter or they have better character. And so we tend to assume, at least at first glance, that an overall good-looking person is just an overall good person. And so that first impression is really important, the way that you look, but also the way that you carry yourself, like your body language, and also I would argue your energy and your aura. I feel like that is really important. But that first split second, it's really important. People judge you based off of that. People who look better are usually given more work opportunities. They do better in dating, obviously. They tend to have people trust them more. People want to work with them more. People want to spend time with them more. People want to be friends with them more. And think about the most popular superheroes in movies, right? Think about Superman or Batman or Captain America or Wonder Woman. They're all very attractive and beautiful. And then think about the most popular villains, right? Think about the Joker or Freddy Krueger or Voldemort. Not the most aesthetically pleasing people. And then think about the movie Thor, right? Thor is more the hero in that movie, and in my opinion, I think he's quite attractive. Whereas Loki is more of the villain, and he's not ugly or deformed by any means, but he's not Thor. And they do this on purpose. They want you to like the hero and dislike the villain. You're less likely to have empathy for the villain when they don't look as good. So looks do matter, especially with first impressions, and they can definitely attract, but that is all they do. Personality keeps. So for example, if you're dating someone, or if you see a girl who's really, really beautiful, but she has a terrible personality and just terrible character and no integrity, dating is still not gonna go very well for her. She might get a lot of first date offers, but not a lot of people who want to commit to her long term. Looks and looking good can open the door for you, but it's not going to change everything. Looks attract, but personality keeps. And there have been so many stories, I've seen a bunch of these on TikTok, where people have had a major glow up in their life, and they talk about how they are treated completely differently and so much better and with so much more respect. Now, could this just be their own perception, like what I talked about in the beginning? It could be, but I think it's probably a mix of both, to be honest. The point of this video is not that you need to look like a supermodel every day and conform yourself to all of these beauty standards and trends. The point is that it's never really a bad idea to look after yourself and put yourself together and look your best. And putting a little bit of an investment into yourself and your looks, whether it's time, energy, or money, is not always a bad thing. I'm not saying you need to pay for nose jobs and buccal fat removal. I'm saying maybe going to the tailor to get that dress to fit just right is worth it for you. Or maybe getting regular facials because it actually really helps your skin glow is worth it for you. Or even waking up a little bit earlier so you can do your hair the way that you want to, or buying a new cute lounge set that you love so you don't have to wear your raggedy old PJs when you're at home. Take care of yourself and look good first and foremost for you, and watch how the world around you changes. Watch how your life improves. It's a two-way street. It's about how you perceive yourself and how you perceive the world to interact with you, but also how how the world really does change when you show up differently. Again, looks are not everything. Of course, they are not everything, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to look your best. And that about wraps it up. Let me know what you thought of this video. Share your thoughts below in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment below, share this video with a friend. All of that stuff really helps me out as a creator, and subscribe below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.